What's up guys? So I recently received a new light in the mail and I've been pretty eager to start shooting with it, but first we're gonna need a product to shoot. Alright guys, so I actually bought these shoes back on Black Friday and I've been waiting to open them because I do this thing where I buy a new product and I hold on to it until I have a chance to photograph it. So I think now is the perfect opportunity to finally open these guys up and photograph them. So these are Vans Skate High Tapered Edition. I believe these are a throwback shoe, and the reason I bought them was because they have the brown laces and the brown tag, and I thought they were pretty sick, and I think they'll make for some pretty cool photography. Alright, now let's talk about the light that I'm going to be using in today's shoot. It's actually a light that was sent to me by Viltrox. So this is their Weeylite Ninja 300 and it comes in this case with a bunch of accessories. So it comes with this mini cone reflector with a little Bowens mount on it, and then the actual light itself is pretty tiny and compact. And then alongside that you also have its power supply, and then you can also add on an external battery holder. So basically it's just a battery holder that you can put some MP batteries onto, and it's actually pretty helpful. And then it comes with this like standard Bowens mount adapter. So in today's shoot, I'm gonna walk you guys through as I test out this light and see how it performs for me. Let me go ahead and tell you guys a little bit more about this light as I start setting it up. So this light is actually an 80-watt light and it's actually pretty powerful. It's dimmable and it also has up to 12 different lighting effects on it. And then an additional piece that you could buy for it is actually this little NP battery adapter. Basically all you do is you screw it onto the side and it allows you to clip on NP batteries. And this is probably the biggest benefit to this light because it will make it 100% portable, so you can take it literally anywhere and not have to worry about plugging it in. And then the next piece that you should look into is actually the softbox, and it's actually pretty convenient to set up. It has kind of like a quick release system, so basically all you need to do is to snap down all the rods and they set into place, and you have a nice little softbox for your light. So now that my light is set up, we can go ahead and start setting up my product. So basically with shoes, you don't want them to look too flat and you want them to be able to hold their shape. So I'm gonna start by stuffing the inside of the shoes with something just so that they can hold their shape a little bit better. Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed some rags, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my shoe and I'm gonna go ahead and just shove these rags inside. Alright, now so I went ahead and stuffed the shoe, and you can see that the tongue is staying up now a lot better, and the entire shoe is just keeping its structure better overall. Alright guys, so I got my shoe set up, so now let's start talking about the ideas that I have for this shoot. So for my first idea, I want to keep things a little bit more simple and classic. So I have my set design all finished. What I went ahead and did is I set up this black asphalt texture, and then I went ahead and grabbed the cinder block and set it up on top. I think this will add nice textures and also will give me something to lean the shoes against. Next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and set up the shoes. So now that my shoes are set up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the Ninja 300 and I'm gonna go ahead and get my lighting set up. So I went ahead and set up the Ninja 300, and basically what I did here is I raised it up a little bit higher and then I angled it down at a 45-degree angle so that's lighting up my product. Basically what this is gonna do, it's gonna light my product evenly and then add a nice dramatic shadow right behind the shoe. So I went ahead and set up my tripod, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start taking my photos. But the way I'm gonna do this, since I only have one light, is I'm gonna try to take the light and move it around while I'm shooting so that I can build up different kind of highlights and different kind of shadows. And then later when I take this into Photoshop, I can take all those layers and combine them to make one final image. So I went ahead and I snapped all the photos I need for this photo. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to a little bit more difficult photo, and for this photo, what I wanna do is I wanna kind of reference one of my old videos where I made a pair of Vans float, but this time we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So basically for this one, my idea is to have this cinder block floating, and then I'm gonna have the shoes resting on top of it. For this one, I don't really have an exact plan of how I wanna shoot these photos, so I'm just gonna see what happens and see how this goes. So I just went ahead and shot my second photo, and it was actually a lot of fun, but there was a little bit of difficulty through it. I had a little bit of a difficulty figuring out how I wanted to position the shoes and actually make them look like they were floating. Basically what they're doing in this one is they're kind of resting on the cinder block floating in the air. So basically what I had to do here is I went ahead and I grabbed some just like random objects that I had laying around my studio. So for this one, I grabbed a little GoPro battery charger, and then on the second half one, what I did was I went ahead and just grabbed an old little piece of wood and basically just rest it under the shoe. And then what I'll do is once I go over to Photoshop, I'll just go ahead and remove those elements so that you can't see them anymore. So overall, I had a ton of fun with the shoot, and the Ninja 300 actually held up incredibly well. I was actually pretty surprised on how well it handled and how bright it was. I actually really ended up loving the little softbox that came with it. It was perfect for the shoot. The only few downsides of this light I would say are the build quality. It does come across a little bit plasticky and cheap. Other than that, when I was using the external battery mount, I had the light at 100% and I could see my battery dying pretty quickly. And then during my shoot, I went to go check on the percentage, and it actually lowered the power of the light down to 80%, which I originally had 100%. So my guess is as the battery starts to drain, so will the power of the light. But typically when I'm shooting video with a light like this, I'll only have it about 40%. So the only reason I had it at 100% was so that I could shoot with the lowest ISO possible. Typically when I shoot video, my ISO is a lot higher. So with video, I can shoot with this light at a much lower percentage and it won't matter as much. But if you guys are interested in checking this light out for yourself, I definitely recommend it. I'll definitely be using it on some of my future shoots. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I plan on doing some more casual videos like this of just in the moment, following me around the studio while I'm shooting. So if you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you aren't already. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.